Hey everybody, and welcome back to Fresh Set. I'm Sabrina,
And I'm Kevin.
and we are here again this week. And
Off week.
yeah, off. It's an off week.
Off
Thank
week.
you.
No race.
And I'm off. It is. Yeah, it's an off week. We're in race week for Azerbaijan. So this week we just kind of wanted to talk about what's been going on behind the scenes in the F1 world, news, hot takes,
Yeah.
rants. That's what we've got.
Yeah. We'll just talk shit for an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
Like there are actually a few I guess kind of big news, kind of biggish news coming out this week.
Yeah.
One of the more shocking things that I had seen, and I guess you hadn't seen it, was GP, Gian Piero Lambiase, the Max Verstappen's engineer,
Punching
was
bag.
he's punching little brother.
Punching
Yeah.
bag.
I
Yeah.
guess Max would be his little brother, but
Yeah.
he's been around a while. Was courted by Ferrari. So, and Fred Vasseur did confirm it as well. They did try to get him to be Lewis Hamilton's race engineer, which I feel like it might have been. I mean, he is a good race engineer. I would assume he is. I mean, he's been in
Yeah.
the sport for a long time. Um, but is it more just let's kind of ruffle their feathers a little bit? Maybe after some of these
Absolutely.
race messages, maybe he might not want to feel like a piece of shit after every race.
Yeah. I mean, but that's like the biggest FU
Oh yeah,
you could possibly give
like
is like not only do you go to Ferrari, you go to be
Hamilton.
Hamilton's.
Yeah.
But then I also feel like that's kind of an FU to Bono. It's
But
not, but
but
like,
Bono he accepted another position or a promotion
fair.
or whatever it is at
Yeah.
Mercedes. It's like as soon as that door
Yeah.
closed, then they're like,
Yeah.
okay, let's see how the waters are over here.
Yeah. Very early on though, when in the Lewis scenario of him leaving, I did see that there was some sort of red flags that wouldn't even allow Bono to go with Lewis. So obviously
Yeah.
he's got a separate contract with Mercedes, not necessarily with Lewis, but
I mean, I feel like all these red flags or red tape or stipulations in anything in
yeah.
F1 is fine. There's always a way around it. Like there's
It's
never
written in like crayon.
yeah, there's never like a locked in contract or something like that. For some
Yeah.
reason, it's always like, yeah, we can figure a way out of this. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit
Yeah.
more difficult. And if it's going to piss off Max Verstappen, we'll pay for it. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's true. Like every contract that we see, especially in the last couple of years, it's a multi-year contract, which that means it can change at any point.
Yeah.
And then we're seeing contracts like Checo's contract, 1+, which they sign him for 1+, and then immediately after that, they're like, but we might replace him now.
Yeah. It's
So-
1+, but that plus is at our
Yeah.
discretion.
Yeah, it's a plus or a minus. You guys can't see the minus. But yeah. Anyways, back to GP. I don't see him leaving.
He's not. He's already confirmed that he's not. Like he's already said no. I mean,
Yeah.
the price is right, maybe, but I think he does like working with Max. Most days. Maybe not on the days. Yeah.
He enjoyed his 2022 season, or
I think he still enjoys it.
2023
I just don't think he enjoys it when Max is going to be up till 4 a.m. and he's going to be cranky the next day.
Yeah, definitely not enjoyable for him.
No.
Well, yeah, there we go. GP staying with Max for now.
For now.
But it just seems like Fred has gone over to Ferrari. He was quiet his first year at Ferrari. And this year he's just been raising hell.
He's still
Just
quiet
pulling
about it
up.
though. He's still like, you never
Yeah.
hear from him. It's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna throw a wrench in the machine and fuck everything up.
Yeah.
That's just it.
And then
Even if it does, sorry.
someone asked him about it, and then he's like, "Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah."
I feel like it's not like it's even like this isn't his number one play. Like, okay, even if I get it, great. I'm not expecting to get it, but I am going to
Yeah.
make everybody in this paddock or in this business just nervous as shit.
Yeah.
Just, you never
You
know what
see
he's gonna
him
do
in a
next.
meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah, you see him in a meeting and you're like, "Jesus, now what's he
yeah.
doing?"
He's like the
But
kung fu drunken monkey stance. Like you don't know where that punch is
yeah.
coming from.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, all right,
Yeah,
GP.
yeah, yeah.
That's kind of it. Well, GP staying with Max, I
GP
guess,
staying with
for now.
Max. Yeah.
So,
Um, the other big, not so big news. Well, I mean, Aston Martin has announced quite a bit of investors. They have $1.8 billion of investment coming from a couple different partners, from Aramco, from Honda. Obviously, we know Honda is going to be their engine supplier from 2026 on, going away from Red Bull. But now it's also, again, it's supposed to be confirmed tomorrow, which, by the way, for everybody that doesn't know, happy birthday to Sabrina tomorrow.
thank you.
So she's not getting any of this money, but
I
her
wish.
birthday will be overshadowed by the Adrian Newey news.
Oh, darn. Darn.
um, but it's apparently supposed to come out tomorrow at Aston Martin's press conference that he is officially signed with Aston Martin. And what we thought was supposed to be a 4-year, $25 million per contract seems to be, from some reports, a 5-year, $30 million deal. So we've gone from now 4 years, 100 million to 5 years, 150 million. It's not a small number.
No, it's not. And that explains, the $1 billion of
1.8 billion. Yeah.
sponsorships that they are
Well, sure.
just
1% of that is going to Adrian
gaining.
Newey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Again, I still can't believe that this is not official news.
So
It will
what
be,
I did hear is the
but
fact that because he has his gardening leave or something to do contractually, they can't actually announce it until tomorrow, and that's why they have, or it would have been yesterday
okay.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's why they had to wait for this long to actually. I don't know. They've got some weird rules over there in Europe, but
Yeah.
you got to fix your petunias before you can sign a contract.
Yeah, hey,
But yeah, so
petunias.
apparently that's why it took so long. We knew it was coming. Now we
Yeah.
have more details on what that number looks like.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so that'll be official tomorrow.
Well, and assuming that's what they're gonna say.
Assuming, I'm assuming. I mean,
Hopefully that's what they
if it
say.
gets reported by several different news outlets, I'm gonna guess there's a pretty good chance.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Now, last year, the first half of the season, we saw a really strong Aston Martin.
Yep,
Uh, one in particular, but both were pretty decent.
they're fast. Yeah,
Uh, this year, both of them have completely ish fallen off. Um, they're spending all this money. They're going to have to be, with all this money, they're going to have to be one of the top three next
I think
year.
they. I don't know if I put them in the top 3. I feel like it would be top 4 or a 5-horse race. I
Okay.
really think it's going to depend next year. Next year, I don't know. I I, I, I don't know
What
how that'll go
engine
because
is.
they'll still be in the. I forget what the engine they have now. Do they have?
They have a Mercedes engine?
I forget what they have now. They might have a Mercedes
Does.
engine, but they are going to Honda in 2026. So I don't remember exactly what they have now.
What
I don't know
in
why
2020?
it's.
Oh, they're not. Yeah, they're switching in 2026,
Yeah,
not
they're
not next
switching. No,
year.
no, not next year.
Okay.
Um, that's why I
I
feel
mean,
like um, they don't know. Like come 2026, I think it'll be better. I mean, that's where you're
yeah.
going to have that reunited combo of Honda and Adrian Newey, which seems to work really, really well.
Yeah.
He likes to work with Honda. Honda obviously likes to work with him. He kind of
Yeah.
understands the ins and outs of the engine alongside whatever design he's got to create. So
Yeah.
I think they'll be stronger next year. I think they'll still be stronger next year because of Adrian Newey. I think they'll be right up top there, a lot
For
or
action.
closer.
Yeah.
2026 again. 2026
And
too. I mean, everything's thrown into a blender. It's all brand new regulations. So who depends who gets it
well,
right? Yeah,
yeah. We
yeah,
could see Haas on top in
yeah.
2026.
It is
Uh
Mercedes this year and
okay.
next year.
So they're
Yeah.
with Mercedes this year, next year.
Yes.
Uh and anybody else moving engines next year? No.
I know it is.
In
Is
the top
is
teams.
McLaren a Mercedes engine this year? They will be for 2026.
I don't know what they are right now.
I don't remember. I used to have all this information in my head, and now I don't know.
Ferrari's
they
Ferrari,
are
Mercedes.
Mercedes as well. Yes,
Okay, so everybody's a Mercedes customer.
basically.
Poor, poor Mercedes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
like, guys, what are
Leave
you
some
doing
for
in your
us. Yeah,
cars? Yeah. Um. I mean, yeah, we'll see. They've got a lot of money to spend. They've got a lot of knowledge that they're putting into. I mean, Aramco being one of their um, sponsors, that's great. Which I mean, they already have them, but
and
just more money.
they're stealing workers or
Yeah,
high level engineers and designers
yeah,
from everywhere. They've
yeah,
taken some from Ferrari, I believe. They've taken some from Mercedes.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
They've got they've got all the tools.
we've got all the
Luckily,
cash.
they've got the man
They've got
to
the
make it
big brain.
happen.
Yeah,
It's
they just
just
need a second driver,
I was like,
and
they have a driver.
but that driver will be gone in 2026, most likely.
Ooh, he might stick around just for one more,
Yeah, I
one
think when you
more
get
go
to next
around.
year and he starts to see
Yeah,
what's coming, I think
yeah.
we'll see him maybe stick around.
He'll stick around for just 1 year with the new regulations, just to see what it's all about, and then he's gonna be like, "All right,
Yeah,
see ya, sayonara."
which I feel like that would be the younger Stroll's same outlook. I
Yeah,
mean, come on.
it's
Just know when it's your
it's
time.
time. I like that we
Yeah,
both said the same
exactly.
thing.
Uh, so that is the big
All
Aston
right.
Martin news,
Yeah.
all but confirmed. Um,
Yes.
so a couple of other interesting things. Now there wasn't a lot this week, but um, Lando Norris. So
Hmm.
it was somebody figured out the math quicker than McLaren could figure out the math in the last like 6 races,
Yeah.
because they still think that Piastri, or still holding on to the fact that Piastri is not mathematically out of the race. He's out of the race. It's just not going to happen.
It's just
If
it's
this
impossible.
this math seems almost astronomical to Lando, it is light years away for Piastri.
Yeah. It's funny because I feel like whoever figured out this math needs to be hired by McLaren, but it was also like this is almost easy math for you. It's not easy math for me, but it's easy math for
Well,
you guys to
you could,
figure out
yeah.
as the as the company. But
So
anyways,
if Lando wants to beat Max and take the championship, likely take the championship, he'd have to score 7.875. So he needs 8 points, roughly 8 points a race over Max in the last seven. What are we talking about? 8 races of
8
the season
races.
to beat him by 1 point. So now we still do have 3 sprints. Is it three or
Yes.
two left? We still have
I think
three
we've got
sprints
3.
where you can pick up a couple points. I mean, it's just on average of the weekend, right? So he could beat him in the sprint for by 2 points, and then he only needs 6 in the race, whatever. And figure out
Yeah.
that math. Um, he also has outscored him by 8 points in the last 2 races, so
Yes.
he's on track. He is on track to beat them.
He's on track.
I
And
That still seems like a huge number to do that. 8 points on average, 8 points over 8 races is a
yeah.
huge number.
Yeah. Because I think what's going to happen now is can see, and we don't know what's happened over the last 2 weeks. Like Zach and Andrea Stella said that they were going to be talking to they haven't talked to the drivers, and they're going to talk to the
How
drivers.
have you not talked to the
Have
drivers?
you not talked to
How have
them
you
yet?
not talked to them after you gave Oscar his win and figure this
Exactly.
out before the break?
Before any of this.
Dumbasses.
So, so depending on, I think Oscar needs to back down and actually help, not just try and overtake in the first corner and the first lap. I
Yeah.
think he genuinely needs to defend. We are seeing a Max that is not able to get through the group the way he used to be.
No.
Whether it's the car, whether it's him, whatever it is, he's
And
not
he's
able to do it.
they're fast enough now where
The car is slow.
he's in battles. He's not passing them
Yeah.
easily,
Yeah.
right? So he's taking a lap or 2 laps out of his race because he's got to battle
Yeah.
through whatever traffic he's got to get through,
Yeah.
right?
So they just have to play it smart. And you said it a couple races ago. I think you said it on the race that Oscar won, which I can't remember which one that was.
It was Austria,
It
wasn't it?
wasn't Oscar, yeah, maybe. Um, he is not like, they need to look at facts. That's all they need to do right now is just look at facts. And I mean, if we see Lando lose
Hungary,
by
he
one
won.
point, Hungary, if we see him lose by 1 point, or he loses by 7 points, 10 points,
I
these
think
are the points that were given away.
I think he's got
That were
a
given away to
he's
Oscar.
got a 10 point. Is it close to 10 points? 10 points, I would say, almost 11 points now, because
Yeah.
he finished second to Oscar in Hungary. So
Mhm.
that was 8 points right there. He
Yeah.
finished
Third.
third in the last race. So the difference between Oscar and Lando in that one was
18 to
three
15,
points.
three
It was 3
points. Yeah.
points. That's 11 points. It's 11 points,
So if he
especially on weekends
loses,
where you can maximize your points. My max is, I know it's a lot of max, but he's not there. He's not able to
no,
finish it.
no.
He's giving you these points.
These
Okay.
are free points.
Yeah.
They don't even have to battle Max. They're battling Ferraris.
Well, he
They're
doesn't,
battling each
and he
other.
doesn't. But to McLaren, it makes no difference. McLaren,
Yeah.
those are constructor points. They're finishing 1, 2, 2, and 3, whichever which way your drivers
Yeah.
finish. You're still getting those points. It's not
Yeah.
like you're feeling that one driver is slower and they can catch
Yeah.
that car ahead, right? To maximize
Yeah.
your points for the constructor. No, they're going to finish 1, 2, 2, 3. Fine. You have to
Yeah.
figure it out for your drivers.
Yeah.
They're not the
And I mean,
first team in F1 to do this.
no. And that's what Nico keeps saying to them. It's
Jesus.
like, guys. But I mean, it's like you said, they're the only team that has consistently, over the last 6 races or so, they're consistently getting both drivers on the podium.
Yeah.
So you guys are good in the
Yeah.
constructors. And
I firmly
okay,
believe they will take the constructor championship.
yeah, they for sure will. Like, you guys are good there. Getting the drivers, yes, that's solo, but it's still good for McLaren
Yeah.
to have the driver that wins the championship
You
as well.
made this
So,
promise to Lando when they got rid
yeah.
of Carlos. You made this promise to Lando when they got rid of Daniel. You made this promise to Lando over and over again that you will get him a championship, whether you actually physically said it to him or you've done it by your
Yeah.
actions. And
Yeah.
now Oscar comes in and you took a beating in the press and you did some dirty handed shit to get him, but you got him. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you have to hand him the keys in his first full year.
No.
That's not the way it works. He works for you.
Yeah.
And I know I've said
Sure.
this over the last several times this year. But get your
Since
head out
Hungary.
of your ass, because if you
Yeah.
do this for another race, you've completely
You're
destroyed
done.
Lando's season.
Yeah.
You've destroyed his confidence that he has in you as a team, especially after you built all this confidence for him by building him this car and getting him a race car that can actually win the race. And he's
Yeah.
going to want out. He's going to want out.
Yeah. I
I
would
would
want
want out.
out.
Like
I would
if
want
I
out in a
had
second.
every option to win and my team's going to screw me every single time,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm out. How
Yeah.
do you think Mercedes
It's
kept Lewis there? Yeah,
yeah.
okay, he's the fastest man on that track, but they
Yeah.
still told Valtteri to get out of the way every time.
Yeah. Every
Every
single
single
time.
time.
And I mean, it all they have to do is put the numbers in front of Oscar. Like he can't deny the numbers. Like
Yeah, but I feel like Oscar would just sit there and be like, so I
and
can still win. I can,
and your point
which
is
I admire. But then put him in timeout, like
put him on a
sit him,
nice
sit
timeout.
him a
Yeah.
race. Well, don't sit him a
You've
race.
been
Sit him
benched.
for the sprint.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, we
I,
always end up on a
I
McLaren
wasn't
rant.
expecting to get where this worked up
Yeah.
this late at night.
Just a McLaren rant. It's
Oh
okay.
my
For
goodness.
anyway, so Lando
He
has
has a
the
mat. Well,
opportunity
we know he, yeah, and it's
possibility.
not an out of reach opportunity. It still seems like a big leap. We don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen with the Red Bull car. They know they're coming with some more upgrades, or their just focus is now upgrading this car for the last 8 races because
Yeah.
they did say that they did say they were going to stop all development on the 2025 car, so on the RB21, so they can focus on fixing the RB20.
Right.
So
Which but Nui
yes,
is already hands
he's already
off.
hands off.
So he's not even helping with
He's
some
been
of
hands
these.
off for a while, so he's probably in the
Yeah.
garage just looking back and just like, no, don't do that,
Don't
don't do
do
that.
that.
Oh, they
No,
went
you
back to
sure about
the
that?
first car we did this year. Don't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
um,
Don't do
he's
that.
just got to be like, just like he's there, like you're taking my baby, you're tearing her apart, you
Yeah.
idiots.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm leaving.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I don't know. We'll see what they can come up with over the next few races, but I mean,
Well,
take
if they've
take
got
the opportunity,
if they've got
McLaren.
the opportunity in the next three, I would say 3 out of the 8 races, that they have to take it. No matter what it is, no matter who
Yeah.
you're going to piss off, you got to take it because Red Bull will
Yeah.
come back with upgrades, and it might be a
Yeah.
closer fight by the time they get to the last three.
Yeah. You're just messing with your own race at this point. Your own numbers, you're
Yeah,
fighting yourself at this point because everybody else is doing their own thing and you
exactly.
guys are fighting yourself.
It'll be
So,
interesting, I think, when we get actually to the second. Is it second last or third last? What is Vegas? Second last, third last. It'll
third
be
last.
interesting when we get back there. I don't know what the weather's going to be like in Vegas. Last year it was very cold. It was a brand new
Mhm.
track. Everybody was sliding everywhere.
Yeah.
Lando DNF'd, if you remember. He
Yeah.
hit the wall,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
then went
yeah.
straight in. So it'll be interesting when we get there if the track is as unpredictable as it was last year, which is
Just
possible. It's possible.
manholes popping up out of the
Oh yeah,
the track,
yeah, yeah.
just ruining people's cars.
I mean, they won't mind if it happens to Max. So
Right. We have I'm trying to think of what other races we have. So we have Azerbaijan.
they're into
We've
Singapore.
got two street tracks
We do have 2 street
next.
tracks. Yeah.
Oh, what's that?
It's your phone. You have to turn these.
I need to turn
Yeah,
these things off.
yeah,
That's for my birthday.
you did. Yeah, sure.
If you're listening on Spotify, just balloons just kind
Yeah,
of
it just
popped
popped up.
up.
She did some peace sign or
I
so.
don't know what I
She
did.
counted on her fingers and it all came up.
Yeah.
Um,
We've got
Azer,
two street
yeah,
tracks.
Azerbaijan. Then we have
Uh,
Singapore. Well, then we go to the state. We do the last 4 North or the Americas, where we go to Coda, Mexico, Brazil, Vegas.
all good tracks for Max.
All good tracks for Max, yeah. But I mean, we haven't seen how this McLaren car fares on these tracks, so we'll
Right.
see.
Right.
And then we go into Qatar and Abu Dhabi. So
Qatar has the sprint, which is going to be another interesting one
Qatar has
because it was the temperature there.
Brazil has
It's
a
a
sprint
swing.
as well, like
Yeah.
they have every year, I believe.
Yeah.
And it is and Coda has a sprint as well, which is a good track.
Yes.
So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
It's going to be these last 8 races are going to be
it's either going to be
carnage.
fun or I will be yelling at my TV and at everybody listening for the next 8 races.
Yeah,
Yeah.
carnage. Speaking of carnage, K Mag.
Yes, yes.
He is
Almost
missing.
forgot about that one.
Yeah, he is missing Azerbaijan. So the next race, due to his penalty points,
Accumulating too
he's just
many.
accumulated way too many. So Ollie Bierman stepping in officially. We knew that before,
Yeah,
but
they made
they
some
had to
announcement.
officially.
Nobody. You don't have another driver.
Yeah.
Where are you getting this guy
So
from?
Ollie Bierman is going to be driving this weekend. Yay. Uh, Kevin Magnussen not racing this weekend. However, what this
As
means
the
is
rules
as of
dictate.
Singapore, he is back on 0 penalty
Yeah,
points. So,
you take your penalty and you just start all over again without
yeah,
parole. Like you just keep
yeah,
going. I mean, sorry,
you just go.
with parole, you
Yeah.
can just do whatever you want. It's fine, no problem.
And he's got
Record
7
expunged.
races. He's got 7
7
races
races.
to create
Wreak
carnage.
havoc. Havoc. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So I feel like it might end up like we saw at the beginning of the year, where he's going to be just the best teammate
Mhm.
if Nico is in a position to create points, or now that he knows he's not getting a seat and he's not going to be here next year, he's going to say, F it. Big F you to you guys. You sat me for a race. I got nothing to race for next year. Just going to do what I want. And everybody get out of the way.
Yeah, I'm racing for myself.
Yeah.
I'm just racing for whatever points I can get to show I ended my career with
Yeah.
these points.
What curbs? I
Yeah.
didn't see any curbs. I also didn't see any of the other drivers.
Track limits?
Yellow
What are those?
flags?
Yeah.
Were those for me?
Uh, yeah, he's just, uh, I think he's just gonna go for it.
He's going to go full Viking. Just,
Yeah,
yes.
just going for
Yeah.
it. But yeah, so that's
It could
Kevin
throw in some. Yeah,
Magnussen.
we have the opportunity to have another Latifi situation if we get down to a wire. Who knows? We could get back
Could
to Abu Dhabi
could be.
and there's a miraculous yellow flag
Yeah.
in the last like 10,
And
10
it's
laps.
K
Yeah.
Mag, yeah. Uh, and I don't really know. Most drivers, you can kind of see where they're, who they. I know when we had when it was Lewis versus Max in 2021, they did ask the rest of the
I
grid,
asked
like, who are you
everybody. Yeah.
going for?
Yeah.
Who are you
Yeah.
going
Who are
for?
you wearing on the red carpet? Um,
Yeah. I don't know
where K Meg, he would
K
probably
Mag
say who you're
stands.
going for. He's going to say K Meg. Um,
Yeah, me. He would absolutely. So would Nico.
so he would,
So would
100%. He's like,
Nico.
I'm racing for myself. No, they all
Yeah.
did kind of side with somebody. Not necessarily that that's who they
Yeah.
wanted to win, but who they thought was going to win.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were some
Yeah.
that had picked sides, but um,
Yeah.
K Mega, yeah, I
Friendships.
don't know. I I feel like he would pick a Max over Lando.
I would agree with that.
I would think he would pick a Max over Lando, but
Yeah.
maybe just the North European kind of union. They seemed like they would party a lot together.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Lando and
True.
Max are also very good friends, so who knows? That's just a bunch of
Yeah.
bullshit.
Exactly. We're just making
Yeah,
stuff
we're
up
just,
at
just
this point.
yeah, we're just having fun. Um, yeah, I think it's gonna be that'll be the interesting side quest to the rest of the
Yeah.
races.
Yeah. So obviously we're going to be watching the front of the grid, but let's keep an eye
On the
on the
back, yeah,
back of
yeah,
the
yeah.
grid
I like how you put
starting
him
in
right at the back.
Singapore.
Yeah,
Yeah. Midfield,
yeah.
lower midfield, back. 17, 16,
Well, where that's where all the
that's
blue
the thing.
flags happen. So you never know.
Yeah. So, what else do we have for
Uh, so
news?
really only one other thing for news. I mean, actually, I did mention to you, Crofty got married this weekend.
Yes, he did.
Sky Sports F1 commentator, the voice of F1, the one I prefer to watch, but I like them. I like them both. I do prefer
Yeah.
listening to Crofty. I do
Yeah.
really enjoy that. But
Yeah.
he got married this weekend, so I know he was missing like 5, 6 races this year. He was scheduled to miss them,
Yeah.
so I'm wondering if
Yeah.
he had to go on a honeymoon, so he can't miss. He's gonna miss the next couple. Come on,
Has to go on a
already
honeymoon.
the ball and chain just
Yeah.
whipped. Just
Yeah. Getting in the way of work.
women.
God, women.
Shh, don't tell her I said
Yeah.
that.
Oh God.
But yeah, that's just a little
Uh,
quick, interesting tidbit. So, um,
yeah.
the one I did want to talk about were Nico Rosberg's comments this weekend about Mercedes, Max Verstappen, George Russell. So we had already talked a little bit of possibly leaving, which is obviously not going to happen.
Hmm.
Nico is very much under the impression that Toto has not given up on Max Verstappen. He has said he's given up on Max Verstappen. Their drivers are George Russell and Kimi Antonelli. Um, but what he says is, give up does not appear in Toto's vocabulary. He firmly believes that he's still going to try and get Max Verstappen for 2026, which makes sense. Not 2025. There's not in their
Yeah.
2025 plans, but he's in their 2026 plans. And he feels that George Russell has that target on his back. That it's not going to be Kimmy. They'll still
Interesting.
keep.
Well, okay.
I mean, from a money perspective, too, George Russell's the more expensive of the two. Depending on how next year fares, Kimmy may be a suitable second driver, young driver, maybe
Yeah.
putting up
Well,
enough
and
points.
I'm just wondering if, you know, Kimmy becomes a driver that you bring up
Yeah,
the way that Red Bull, brought up Max
I feel like
in the
that would.
car. And so they would probably want to keep him in,
Yeah,
have him kind of be the Daniel. I would say Daniel more than than Max actually.
yeah.
But, have him grow up in the car and then if need be move him around where George came in from.
Well, he was in their Mercedes
Yeah,
program, went
Williams.
to Williams
Yeah,
as a Mercedes junior
which is
driver.
which is basically like being at
Yeah, yeah.
Mercedes.
Just get a feel for the
Um,
tracks, and then you can move up to the big boy car.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What does that do for, like, would you say George's career is over then if he leaves
No, I
Mercedes?
don't believe so.
You think someone would pick him up?
I think 100% somebody would pick him up,
Yeah.
and that would be likely Red Bull. Um, or
You think it would be a swap?
I don't know. I mean,
Not a
it
swap,
would really
but
depend. I mean, what happens next year? I don't.
yeah.
If there's still driver turmoil in McLaren, could it be possible to keep one and bring George in? Possibly, right? Having a Lando George pair, maybe. I think that's less likely. If Max leaves, I don't think Checo's there for 2026. So I think that leaves two
No.
open spots there at Red Bull, and I think George would fit
Yeah.
one of those. Um, I don't necessarily feel like he fits the Red Bull vibe. I'd be weird to see him in that Red Bull suit in that Red Bull car. I don't know what it is. He just doesn't suit
No.
it for me. Um,
No. The games that they play and
yeah,
like the rallies that they do. No.
yeah,
Mercedes is so like prim proper,
yeah. Well, very.
which is
Yeah,
George.
yeah, exactly. The,
So,
the culture of it doesn't seem to fit George, but I
yeah.
do see him being more likely to go somewhere there, or possibly if Fernando's not around, maybe even Aston Martin.
Aston Martin. I can see the
I
Aston
can see the
Martin
Aston.
for
Yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Maybe even Audi because 2026 is Audi.
I don't think so. I don't think they're going to have that kind of money first. I think they want to see how they fare
Mm,
and not pay George what
true.
he wants.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's just interesting that Nico's going to still put his. I mean, Nico says a bunch of shit,
Well,
but he's not
and
completely off.
Toto is Nico's old boss. So if anybody would
Oh yeah,
know,
yeah,
it would be
100.
Nico.
percent
So Nico Rosberg, obviously, who we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I mean, he would know the best. He would know like when Toto says, "Oh yeah, I'm thinking about it," or "Oh no, we're done."
No, yeah.
He knows those
Well,
those cues.
it's funny because like Toto has never said. I mean, he's always focused on now. He's focused on Kimmy, but he's always been very sure to say these are 2025 drivers. I'm looking at
Yeah.
Kimmy or the younger generation for the future.
Yeah.
He's leaving that door really wide open for interpretation, and Nico picked up on
Yeah.
it real quick. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see this week going into race week what Toto's
Yeah.
comments are on that.
Yeah. Hopefully somebody asks him. And hopefully he's a
Oh, they
part
will
of
ask him.
the principal press conference, because I know it's not always him. It's not always all 10 principals, but um, I think he would love to, have that one up on Christian Horner
Oh
for
yeah,
for
somebody from
sure.
Sky Sports will ask him that. It
Yeah,
may even be Nico himself.
yeah, and he'll
Say,
just
what did you think about these comments I made?
I made these
Yeah.
comments. What do you think
I
about
could
it?
see him saying that. I can see
Yeah,
him- Yeah.
yeah,
So interesting.
yeah.
Um, and that's pretty much all I have for news. Did you have anything
We
else for news?
have Santander,
Oh, sorry.
which you
Yes.
completely missed.
Yeah, it was kind of smaller news. I don't know if we were going to go through
Yeah,
it or not.
yeah.
So we know that Santander is pulling their, was it 80 million or 60 million euro sponsorship or dollar? I don't know which one it was. From Ferrari,
Ferrari.
and they are moving now. It was confirmed that they will be the official sponsor of F1 for 8 races starting in 2025.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't
For
know.
five years, I think you said it was.
5 Yeah, 5-year contract. Yeah, 5-year
Okay.
contract. So you assume they were probably doing replacing or doing another 8. We have 24 races, so that's a third of the season basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
um yeah, so they'll be taking over there. We'll see some different branding. Not a lot.
I think there's a lot of branding changing because again, I kind of mentioned it to you. We know Rolex is leaving
Yeah.
as the time sponsor, the watch at the beginning of the races,
Yeah, and we don't know
or clock, I
who's
guess you
we
say.
don't know yet who it will be. It'll probably be announced
No.
like after the season,
Yeah.
I would assume.
Um, I'm sure anybody,
uh,
a lot of these companies probably want
I
that spot.
wonder what this contract is going to be worth, because they did or they put up, what did I say it was on the solo episode? I think 1,000 shares or 10,000 shares of their are going to be publicly traded, which would have amounted to, I forget now. It was either 400 or 800 million. I know it's a big difference, but but either way, it was a lot. So I wonder how much this deal is actually worth to try and replace some of that money that's
Yeah.
going there. If it replaces at all, or if it just keeps their sponsorship deals the same.
Yeah. No clue.
No idea. No, I don't think we're going to find
No
out.
clue. No, but I would love to know which watch company is going to sneak in, um, and become the face of the clock of Formula One.
Well, I mean, you got to think like it's what has the prestige and the money of Rolex. Because I think the
Hublot.
prestige factor has a big thing to do with it. You see Rolex, you think opulence, you think a gentleman's sport, you think, you know what I mean? Like it's obviously it's the most expensive sport, one of the most expensive sports that you could be in. And
Yeah.
just even to get there, you need to have money. And usually if you have
Yeah.
money, you got a Rolex.
Yeah.
You also have several other watches, but I can't think. I mean, there are
AP.
a lot of luxury watches out there. I just
Yeah.
I don't see the brand that would have the worldwide recognition as Rolex.
Richard Mille. Mille.
But
I
they're
don't know how
already
you
on
say it.
the Ferrari, aren't they? Or no, they're on McLaren.
Oh, yeah.
They're on one of the
And
two.
yeah.
One of the two. I can't remember which one it is.
And they one of them actually sponsors Leclerc.
McLaren, yeah, so they're on
Yeah.
the Ferrari, I believe.
Um, I don't know. Hublot. These are the only expensive watches that I can't afford that I know about. So,
Hublot, I think believe Hublot was, or no, maybe they weren't always. They've had some kind of sponsorship, or maybe it was just on the car. Anyways,
but I think you're right. It needs to be a name that people also know.
uh,
And I mean, there are luxury watches that there's a huge range of people that just don't know the names, right?
yeah,
Like people in Monaco will know those names, people in Europe, billionaires,
yeah.
but they want people, the everyday person watching Formula 1 to also know that name
Well,
as
yeah, and
well.
if I
So,
tell somebody what's a luxury watch brand, the first one they're going to come up with is Rolex.
is
It's the
Rolex, yeah.
name. The name is recognizable. The colors are recognizable. That green and
Yeah.
gold. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you do? You gonna get Timex? You're gonna get a little Iron Man sticking up there? What?
Swatch.
Yeah, SWAT. You never know. Never
Swatch.
know. I used to love the SWAT watches. Swatch
Yeah.
watches. Yeah.
um yeah. That's so see, we have Santander. We don't have a clock yet. So I think we're gonna see more sponsor changes.
Yeah,
We'll
we're
we'll
seeing a
see
lot more on the
what's
F1 side.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I do have to get
Um
that bottle of that McLaren Jack Daniels, which I haven't gotten yet,
yes.
but I will get it. I will drink it on the podcast.
Maybe that's your birthday present.
Maybe, maybe, and
Maybe.
maybe I'll get myself a birthday present, another one.
Good too. Um, but yeah. So I'm trying to think of other news that came up this week.
Don't believe there
Not
was
not
nothing
much.
really.
Nothing worth
Yeah,
noting. I do want to give a little shout out. I didn't talk to you about this at all. I do
no,
want to give a little
you didn't
shout
run
out
this by me. How dare you?
to um to the cutest Formula One future Formula One
Oh,
driver. Her name is Aria Denhauer. She is 5 years old, and she had a race this weekend, and she came in third.
oh,
She
nice!
placed on the podium.
Congratulations, Aria.
Yes. So we are going to come out to one of Aria's
Yes,
races. And but quick congratulations to you, Aria. And she's going to be not just a Formula One Academy driver, she will be a Formula One driver in 18 years. Maybe
18
less.
years. No, but she
Maybe
might get an
less.
exceptional status. You never know.
Right.
Yeah,
You never
yeah.
know.
She'll replace
So,
George.
yeah. Hey, I think they would like
Yeah.
that. But um yeah, so I think that's it for
That's it. A
us
little bit of
this
a shorter
week.
one, which is
Yeah,
not bad.
not bad.
No.
But we are going to be back next week, Azerbaijan,
Azerbaijan. Yep.
or I will be back next week.
Oh,
We
yeah,
shall
that's right.
see.
I will
But
send you some videos of me watching the race
reacting.
and not in a, well, I mean, I will be in a very good state.
Yes.
You might see some frowns in my background,
In the background. In the
either from my
background, for
wife or all
sure.
the people I'm annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just get them to put it on the bar.
I will.
Uh
100%. They will, damn it.
yeah. All right. Well, you guys can always catch us same places. We're on Instagram, TikTok,
X.
X, which is Twitter, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts.
At Fresh Set
Thank
Podcast.
at Fresh Set Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe, rate, follow, all of the fun things. Send us questions,
Yeah.
comments, you name it. And
And you
we are
guys have
here to
been
answer.
very good at calling us out on our bullshit when we get things wrong. Don't stop.
Yes,
Because,
please.
yeah, please. I mean, we got to figure this out too.
Yeah. Yeah. So we will see you guys next week.
Yeah. A happy birthday, Sabrina. So
Thank
grab a
you.
fresh set.
Bye.